can shine through in its fullest glory and in turn translated in the actions of everyday living. And you feel that joy and that peace which passeth all understanding. Yes. Don't let me make you think too hard. I think I've got a couple of jokes here. This priest was sending a parcel to one of his parishioners. So the clerk, what do you call it, clerk? Clerk, we call it clerk. Right, this clerk behind the counter at the post office asks, "Sir, is there anything breakable in this box?" It was a Bible he was posting away. He says, "Sir, is there anything breakable in this box?" He says, "No, only the 10 Commandments." I'm talking of sending a box. This fellow picks up the phone and he was trying to get through to the theater. He was going to take his girlfriend to the theater, and he says, "Could you reserve a box for 2? So the girl on the other end of the line says, "Sorry, sir, we don't have boxes for 2. He says, "But is this not the Empire Theatre?" So she replies, "No, this is the Undertaker's." You see, so you go alone in that one box. There's no boxes for 2. And a guru can only guide you. He does not shine the light upon you. He shines the light upon the path. But you've got to walk with your own feet. You've got to walk with your own feet. And no one can do it for you. So when these gurus come around and promise you God and promise you self-realization and divinity and self-realization and what all, don't believe it. You got to do it yourself. You heard of Paderewski, the great musician. One day he was together in a restaurant with a polo player, and while sipping a cup of tea they were chatting. So Paderewski says that you're a dear soul playing polo and I'm a poor Pole playing solo. Yes, so it is so low. To find yourself, you have to do it yourself. These gurus and spiritual masters can only show you the way, the life, and that is the truth. Do you see? Yeah. So, what we need most desperately in today's world by all humanity is integration and not fragmentation. With greater integration, you will know what life is all about. You will awaken yourself to the beauty, the joy, which is divinity. For the nature of divinity is joy, the nature of divinity is beauty, and it is not bound. So, your nature is boundaryless, boundless, and never in bondage. You create bondage for yourselves by your own thoughts, which has no reality on its own. But thoughts produces the effect of impressions upon your mind, patternings after patternings after patternings. And as these patternings become more and more, you become more and more miserable. You are denying yourself of what you are, and by nature you are nothing but joy. You are divine. To repeat again, if God is omnipresent, then every cell of your body is divine. There's no place for anything else. You go to a movie and you see things happening on the screen. And if it's a tearjerker, is that what you call it here? If it's a tearjerker, you'll find so many hankies being pulled out and quite a few sniffles. And yet you know within yourself that this is not real which I am seeing. It is a projection upon a pure white screen. You know that, and yet you start crying. And that is what you're doing every day in your daily life. Now, if you fully realize that this is just a picture that's happening and there's nothing that I could do about it, whatever's taking place on the screen is taking place. If I could do nothing about it, then why must I cry? Why must I get involved? It's a story. Why do I not realize that the screen is pure white? Pure white meaning purity. And yet you get so involved in that little story. The man slapping the poor woman or whatever, or the child, and you say, oh dear me, you start. So that is how we are living. And it's about damn time that we change our attitudes. By doing spiritual practices, our awareness grows, our awareness expands. We look at life through a very small segment, and not in its wholeness. To me, wholeness is holiness. Wholeness. WHOLENESS.